Hi, good morning. Well, we've slumped to single figures. This is well, we don't do this for the fame and the fortune, but you know, doing these videos is not necessarily for your sake. It's probably more for my sake, in order to give me a few minutes to condense my thoughts, and all I'm doing basically is thinking out loud. So that's what the disruptor does. It disrupts everything, including himself. So since we last spoke, I've now completed 2 more dramas, finished one yesterday, and just one more to go. I'll talk about those dramas at a future date. The one I'm thinking of next, it's an idea that came to me, to sit in our garden on the swing seat, just staring at the trees, and staring at a particular tree that was quite high and had been sort of branches have been cut off, and there's almost like a seating platform at the top. And I had this stupid thought of, wouldn't it be funny if an old bloke got stuck at the top of the tree? And that's developed into an idea, and looks like that'll be my last one. And I can just see it. It's a tree in a close, in a sort of centre point of, in the middle of the close, with say 4 houses all sort of dotted around it. And I think it'll be a comedy, very much I think in the sort of style of maybe the 60s and 70s, of observational comedy and sort of clever words. I think I haven't figured out where they are yet. Starts off with this old bloke at the top, and then people try to rescue him and other things happen, and you end up with maybe 6, 7, 8 people dotted around the tree, including at the bottom. And the idea being, and this is I suppose the twist, is something about that tree, I call it the love tree, is that if you are there, there's something about it that makes you feel very loving. I'm not quite sure what that means yet, but anyway, we'll see how that one develops. But I'm glad it's the last one. I've really enjoyed doing this, and for me, every one I've done, in my mind, is better than the one before, though no one has heard any of them. Hoping next Friday to do a read through of 2 or 3 of them, because I'm running out of time now. I've only got like 4 weeks to go before my big workshop event, which I really need to get my head in a good place in time for. But following on from last week with the word that I had of metamorphosis, it is engaging me quite a lot in thinking that perhaps being moved from one thing to another, and one form of writing to another form of writing. And I'm still holding on to this script writing lark. Maybe in a month's time, I might my thoughts towards it may have been shattered, and I might be looking elsewhere. But all I know is that I have to be creative and do something. One thing that is on the horizon is I'm going to be, thanks to an old friend who's the editor of a magazine called Living Light, which is sort of a quarterly devotional, with sort of different devotions every day of the week. I've been signed up to do 1 week. My week will go out in January, I believe, which is something new for me. And as I said to him, I like the idea of it because it'll ground me in scripture, because it'll be taking, interestingly, a scripture that I've used before in my books. I can't remember what book in particular, but one book, it was almost a summary of the book, and that was Philippians chapter 4 verses 1 to 7. Rejoice in the Lord, I say again, rejoice, let your gentleness be, that one. So I just feel that the Lord is in that, so that's satisfying. Icebreaker's come out. I've sent out notifications to 400 to 500 people, and basically 3 orders. It's very different. I just feel very different to how I usually feel when I bring something out. I don't sense any excitement, and yet this is the book that ought to excite, because it just speaks into, when I wrote it, the culture has changed so much. But even since I wrote it, which was maybe over a year ago, the culture has changed more in line with what I'm writing in the book. How to deal with, the identity politics, the fake news, and how easy it is for Christians to be pulled into it. And we've seen that. Certainly I've seen it with the Mike Pilavachi thing, which does exercise me and concern me, because it does seem to be a reflection of what's going on with, say, Philip Schofield and such things. Are we any different, or have we been sucked into the same nonsense? And that's what I'm tending to believe, that the church, without even realising it, and it just gets sucked into all sorts of things, because it doesn't have an eye on the rudder. Every bit of the church is doing its own thing and looking for acceptance, looking for relevance, and out of that comes compromise, and it's not good. You can always look at the Catholics, or how they used to be, in that at least they had a central authority that were saying enough is enough, that's wrong, this is right, and we'll go with what's right. There is no, EA, maybe not, I don't know, but doesn't seem to be anyone in the wider Protestant world who is basically setting an example, let's say. So rant over. Hopefully by the time we speak next week, I'll have the final bit of my six episode TV half-hour kitchen sink drama, and then I'll start hopefully to try to promote the thing. So until then, see you then. Okay, goodbye.